Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for coming to our museum. First of all, I would like to thank Dominika Slovik. She is our special guest today, and she is coming from Poland, Krakow.
Žela da se zahvalim našoj specijalnoj gošći danas, Dominiki
Slovik.
Koja je u poseti iz Krakova i ona je naš specijalni gost danas.
The reason of her coming, firstly, is that our museum is on the women's writers route. It means that we support international project. Other reason is her book, that is her book that is published in Serbian. We will speak about the book, but we will speak also about Dominika's feelings about Valjevo first, maybe. After, of course, all of us will get chance to speak also, so we will make some interactive discussion about the literature. So, Dominika, how do you feel in Valjevo?
Oh, I feel very full after the meal. That was very delicious. No, it's amazing. I came basically today at 2 a.m. here, and I had a chance to see so many wonderful things in Valjevo during this short period of time. First of all, it's I always say that the place, what's most important in the place are the people, and you're guys great. I feel so welcomed here. So thank you for taking such a great care of me. But also the city itself, it's I hope you won't be offended by me calling it a hidden gem, because it's really a beautiful place with the valley view, the mountains, the light that gives a specific colors to the landscapes. It's beautiful. I had also chance to go to the local gallery to see the paintings of Ljubomir Nenadović. Sorry, I'm not good with the names. And apart from writing, I draw as hobby.
Book drawings are Dominica's.
That's more like doodles. And when I saw the colors of the paintings, I really didn't expect to be so much in awe. And I don't say it just to compliment because I'm here, but those paintings are really gonna stay with me. It's amazing. It's I think for the city that takes so much care of literature, to have a painter that at the same time seems to be also a storyteller within the paintings, it just makes sense. And a cherry on the top was more kajmak on the top.
Thank you, Dominika. We will speak now a little bit about the book, because Dominika, I think she is, like, how to say it, really, to say contemporary writer that has something new to say. Narrative in this book is about growing up and about intimate relationships between inside a family, especially between a mother and her daughter. Style is very precise, and I think that she, as a writer, uses it to show psychological development of the young daughter character. Minimalistic, maybe is better word, maybe. Also, we can look at this book like some social cultural document about one generation, and I'm glad it is also my generation too. Almost. I'm 3 years younger than Dominika, so So I would ask first, Dominika, why did you start to write this book? Are there any motives inside your a biography or it is just a fiction?
Da li postoje neki motivi unutar vaše biografije ili je to tek fikcija?
First of all, thank you for all the nice words.
Hvala za sve lepe reči.
You're welcome. You deserve it. I'm asking you now about the book.
I must mention my translator, who's also my friend, and I couldn't imagine better translator for this book that's about teenagers, because she's my friend that I met in high school. We grew up in the same hometown in Poland. We lived together during studies, shared a room when we went to university in Krakow. And I can remember very clearly us being at my room when we were 19, just after graduating from high school. And we had our bachelor exam results. And we needed to choose the university degree we wanted to pursue. And we were 19, really, we weren't sure what we wanted to do, and especially Kasia wasn't sure what she wanted to do, and I was going through the possible faculties. And it was me who said, Kasia, maybe Slavistyka. And she applied for Serbian, because you could choose from different languages, and she decided for Serbian. And she went to her classes, and after 1 week, she was so hooked up that she ended up with Serbian husband, living in Serbia for many years now, and translating my book. So thanks to her, the language is what you say it is, because the translator is basically a co-author when you translate a book into another language. And also it's in a way funny to me that the book that's very different from my other work is the first one I get to speak here about, because before this book I used to write in rather Barockian style, a lot of metaphors, a lot of fantasy stuff, and this is my moment of realism. I really wanted to write something that was pure realism. But regarding your question on autobiographical stuff, apart from Kasia being my translator, I really don't like writing about myself. So the heroines are not me, their life is not mine. But having said that, then I discussed this with my other friends from the high school, and they were like, no, it happened to you, and this also happened to you, and this and that. So maybe I shouldn't rely that much on my memory.
Memory always lies us, maybe. Thank you, Dominika. Also, what would I like to ask you is, you choose some, like, how to say, micro details from everyday life, and put them under the spotlight. In the spotlight, and they bring big symbolical value, because I think that our life is always, how do we recall our life, and it is only fragments. That is a theory of Martin Heidegger, of course, that we always remember our life as a fragments. So how do you pick, that everyday life micro details? What is your inspiration to write like this? Like to jump from scene to scene, but the reader. Sorry, I was going a little bit fast now. Yes, and they build strong structure that for careful reader can make whole picture.
It's a difficult question, because I think that relying that much on the detail is a very good way of sharing the emotions with a reader. It is, I think it happens a lot, but at the same time, there is this trap of tokenism, that it's very easy to go for food that we all remember from childhood, for a cartoon that we remember, and it then gets empty. So I would say that I have a lot of details that I write down, that I find out, that I research, but then choose them carefully.
Mogu reći da ima puno detalja koje ja zapisujem, puno toga istražujem, ali vrlo pažljivo biram o čemu pišem.
Thank you. But the plot takes place in early 2000s.
Radnja knjige dešava se ranih, početkom 2000-ih.
How was it in Poland at that time?
Kakva je situacija, kako je to bilo u Poljskoj u to vreme?
You know what's funny is that in Poland, everybody's so hooked up on the memory of the 90s that they read this book and they're like, oh, it's in the 90s, which is not.
It's not.
Granica, 3%.
I think after 2000, Poland really started changing rapidly, economically and socially. First of all, the violence on the streets around 2002-2003, which was very common, high crime, and a lot of silent marches against violence in the 90s, it stopped after 2000. It gradually became safer and safer, and now I think it's one of the safest places, especially Krakow, that I visit throughout the year. Yeah. We also had rapid economical growth, which was obviously connected with Poland getting ready to enter European Union and then entering it. At the same time, we have this bipartisanism shaping, like polarism, two parties. Which before that we had multiple parties. We still do have them, but there are two main parties that for 20 years lead. And I think early 2000s were the time of neoliberalism, which means it was very difficult for workers. People worked a lot, and the working market wasn't employee market. So what I would say about the 2000s, 2000 till 2010, which is also a very significant date for Polish people because then the plane fell down with Polish president. It was the moment of when we were working a lot, very tired, but also getting to see how this work changed our surroundings.
Like here in the 2000s, pop culture entered on a big door in our society, MTV and so on, and I think that it really shaped new generations. But I need to say that I really laughed in this book at one particular place about the Backstreet Boys, you know. Yeah, it's a boy band. And of course I was on the side of a granddad who said who these fagots are. Because that is something my father would say also to me, you know. The fagots. Okay. But apart from this, fisheye catches a theme also of samohranog roditeljstva. Mother, we understand each other. So was it a common thing at that time in Poland? Because I don't know, here people went a lot abroad to work and so on to make a better future for the families, but families also distorted because of that things.
Oh yes, definitely. I don't think it was because of people going abroad. just people realizing that they can get divorced, but also I think just some ways of the society that there was this saying by feminists when we were fighting for certain rights that especially when the people were advocating for the same sex couple rights, and there is always this argument that it's not a natural intended family that should be, and they were answering, yeah, but like over half of the I don't remember the quota exactly, but so many families in Poland are basically one gender families because it's mother and grandmother. And I think when you ask me about that, it's not the answer you should take for granted because it's my guess. I didn't check the statistics. We started getting secularized after 89, and we realized we don't need to get married if we get pregnant. And I think that's why.
Nata and Edith are really strong female characters. Lika, and I see them as I don't know how to say, that they will survive anything, even if it's not life that is good for both of them. What was your message for the females? How to survive?
Thank you. I really like when someone is paying compliments to them.
Especially from the males.
I mean, I think it wasn't really gender focused for me, though. What I was interested in was how the society was changing under capitalism. Because Poland in 1945 was a very divided society. And
we are also still.
We are also, but in different ways, because we didn't have natural inside reform or revolution. It was imposed on us. And it's very hard to come to terms with it because on one hand it was forced, but on the other hand, because of that, my grandfather went to high school, my parents went to the university, and I became a writer. And I come from both sides of the families, from very poor village families, generations after generation. At the same time, it also made us more homogeneous and uprooted our traditions. They destroyed intellectual groups and uprooted our traditions. And it destroyed our traditions. Because a lot of those traditional values were kept by the so-called elites, higher society. And they were first killed off during the Second World War, both in Katyn and during Holocaust. In Katyn and Holocaust. And so we were deprived of those who kept the tradition, artism. And a great example is Polish cuisine. When you look at the recipes from before the war, like those are pure fantasy to me. I don't know those ingredients and those dishes. We lost a lot of those. But at the same time, we got a society that was much more egalitarian, much more... And it's not very common for a capitalist country. So in the 90s and then in the early 2000s, we were quite egalitarian society that rapidly got divided by the access to the source of money. I remember I could go to public school, which was of very good quality, and today my friends, they are sending children to private schools if they can allow it. In my time, private school was for kids who weren't able to graduate. So I think that it's a long route for the answer.
Dug put da dođemo do odgovora.
But I think that we catch the protagonists in the moment when they are fighting this wave. They want to stay afloat. And they didn't have a lot of help. They didn't have social network, or they didn't have material goods that would help them.
Imale materijalna dobra.
So they were really there to fight for themselves in the harshest form of capitalism, the one that is just forming and it's not regulated. It's not regulated. Nie jest regulowany. There are no norms really, which is basically the strongest twins. And unfortunately nowadays we can see a very clear picture of that in the internet. Internet is
Na internetu vidimo vrlo jasnu sliku.
is this kind of capitalism. The strongest wins. The strongest gets the voice. The strongest gets the money and gets the influence and political impact.
Novac, uticaj.
Thank you. And after this, I would ask you: was it maybe easier for you as an author to speak from a child's perspective about these things? Does the character of Nata gives you opportunity that everything is under the veil of humor? I think, but that those things that happen in the lives of the characters are really, when you think seriously about them. I stop. Nate, yes, about these things, because when you think sorry, I maybe was too fast before, because the humor here plays a really vital role to make this book flows. So what did you use from child's perspective?
Šta ste iskoristili iz perspektive deteta?
Thank you, Kasia, because I think humor is the hardest part to be translated always.
Hvala, Kaća, ja uvek mislim da je humor najteži deo za prevođenje.
It's interesting how you phrased it, because I wouldn't say that kids are the best jokers.
Interesantno kako ste vi to formulisali. Ja ne bih rekla da su klinci najbolji u šalama i sa humorom.
But I think I get what you mean, because the children's perspective is the one that it's not a comparative one. They don't have a lot of stuff to compare to their current life.
Poređenje.
But I also think that humor is more of my shield against getting too serious. And I also think it's also my weak point, because sometimes if you shield too much with humor, you don't get to say exactly what you want to say. Because good art, but also sincere humanity, needs some kind of vulnerability.
Yes.
And I also do associate it with the internet. And I think it's interesting, because I think we're gonna in the future talk a lot about the history of national internet. So maybe you will tell me if it's common ground here.
Puno pričamo o nacionalnom internetu.
But my first connection to the internet, we got it in the 90s. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But also the internet was wild internet. And it was one that was kind of hostile in language. It was very sarcastic. You need to be sarcastic. You needed to be ironic. You couldn't be just sincere or just sad or just weak. And I think it's where a lot of my humor in my books comes from this culture that was surrounding us, the dialogue that we had in the internet.
So we came to male characters in the novel. they are just passing by. I would say Lutek, Artur, dentist, and so on. Is that perspective maybe too harsh for the males?
It didn't mean to be harsh.
Nije mi to bila namera.
But
males are just like that.
probably I could write it better so people would understand it better. Because those are, especially Lutek and Artur, the guy that's with Edita at some point.
Posebno Lutek i Artur.
Those are guys that struggle a lot. They are dealt bad hand of cards. The brother Lutek, he's struggling with his sexuality. He's from the generation that wasn't allowed to have a real coming out, especially in the province. His family is not supportive. He didn't have a chance to move out, so he's just stuck there. And he needs to make a living for himself. So
Naravno, morao je da zaradi sebi za život.
I think it's a really sad biography, and I didn't want it to be harsh. I think also that maybe this interpretation comes.
I think the same. I just said harsh because it's
Oh,
maybe interesting
yeah.
conversation. Just that, you know.
Yeah, I think that it's actually we're lacking this language about how male struggle within the society, and because of that, I think a lot of stuff about those protagonists just escapes during the reading of the book. I will follow and try to fill the. Yeah. So I hope that talking about it, we will also create the language that helps to find a new way to talk about masculinity nowadays. Because at least in Poland, I can see that my male friends struggle a lot, and it's not their fault. It's hard to be a woman, but it's also hard to be a man in the society of nowadays.
Teško biti i muškarac.
And I think Artur is my the protagonist I really care for. At the same time, he's not a positive one, right?
We are all
Artur je
anti-heroes in some way.
do kog je meni jako stalo.
He's a guy that starts dating Edita and becomes a father figure to her daughter, and he's a good father figure.
On je momak koji postaje otac dve devojčice.
In a way, he's much more responsible than the mother.
I on je na neki način mnogo odgovorniji od majke.
He starts introducing some routine in the life.
On pokušava da uvede neku rutinu u njihove živote.
He's responsible, but he also struggles with being underqualified.
I on se također s druge strane muči s tim što nije dovoljno kvalifikovan.
His life turned out to be not what he wanted to be.
I naravno njegov život ispostavilo se da nije bio ono što je on želeo da bude.
He dreamt of being maybe an artist, maybe a radio journalist.
On je sanjao o tome da bude možda umetnik, možda radio reporter.
And he ended up being a truck driver, which is okay job, but it's just not what he wanted, right?
Postaje vozač taksija, što je okej posao, ali
And it's also a heavy job.
i to je također naporan posao.
It takes toll on your body, on your psychic.
I naravno da to uzima danak u njegovom telu i fizičkoj snazi.
You're alone a lot of time during your
Puno vremena ste
travels.
usamljeni, sami,
So he turns to drinking,
i on počinje da pije,
which obviously isn't a good choice, but also it's a sign of psychological struggle.
što naravno nije njegov slobodan izbor, nego pre neka vrsta psihološke borbe i muke.
And even though for my generation it was quite hard to reach for psychiatric and psychological help,
I mada je za pripadnike moje generacije generacije bilo poprilično teško da zatraže pomoć psihologa i psihijatra.
We did it,
Mi smo to
most of us.
neki od nas.
For my parents, it's just a taboo thing, right?
Roditelji, generaciju tabu tema.
And even within my generation, it was women and girls who went there first.
I što se moje generacije tiče, prve koje su to činile bile su žene i devojčice, devojke.
And I don't really think it's because we are wiser or smarter or something.
Ne mislim da je reč o tome da su mi mudrije ili inteligentnije.
It's just patriarchal society puts those loads on a man. They shouldn't be emotional. They shouldn't cry.
Reč o tome da patriarhalno društvo stavlja taj teret muškarcima da ne smiju biti emotivni, da ne smiju to da pokazuju,
They shouldn't talk about their problems.
da o problemima ne treba da govore.
And that's basically the essence of psychological and psychiatric help.
A posebno je reč znači o nedostatku bilo kakve inicijative za psihološkom pomoći.
So if you have a toothache, you go to a dentist.
Koliko odboli zub, idete kod zubara.
But if you have a heartache, you just, and you're a man from this generation that Artu is, you just close yourself.
I ako imate bol
And then
srca,
implode.
ako ste-
Then implode, yeah.
You can't explode.
ako ste čovjek generacije Artura, vi samo možete da...
Thank you. Before we give a chance for the audience to ask some questions,
Publici damo priliku da postavi pitanje.
is this your first translation of the book, or or it was published in some other languages?
Da li je to vaše prvo, da li je ovo knjiga po prvi put prevođena ili je već bila objavljena na nekim drugim jezicima?
And also, I heard today that maybe the second part is coming. Is it true or not?
Da li je to da možda sledi nastavak, je li to tačno ili ne?
For this book, it's the very first translation. I know
Prvi prevod ove knjige.
my Belarusian translator. She's working also on translation. But the book came out last year, so it's really fast. I have other books. I have them translated in German, in Belarusian,
Koje se prevode na
some parts in English. But also, I'm not very often translated because I think that my books are very Polish. Very Polish.
Aha, nisam mnogo prevođena, nisam često prevođena jer smatram da su moje knjige vrlo, vrlo poljske.
And sometimes it's a problem because people want to have something that's supposedly universal.
I to je ponekad problem jer pretpostavljam da ljudi žele nešto što je pod navodnicima univerzalno.
But I really long for literature that's more varied. I'm tired of, and it's not against any authors, but I'm just tired of this flood of English workshop literature that's very...
Ne radi se o tome da sam protiv nekih drugih pisaca, nego sam već umorna od toga da je od radionica na engleskom o engleskoj književnosti.
So I'm really happy it got out in Serbian, and it's true. I'm thinking about the second part of the book.
Srećno što je prevedeno na srpski i tačno razmišljamo o pisanju nastavka.
And it's also, the story is more complex because when I was writing it, I started writing it and I knew the story gets bigger, and I have already in my mind the
Pisala, shvatila sam da priča postaje veća i već imam u svojoj glavi neke ideje.
I know what would happen next.
Znam što će se sljedeće dogoditi.
But also I have a feeling that we publish so much nowadays, we write so much content.
Imam utisak s druge strane da danas se toliko objavljuje, da toliko sadržaja stvaramo.
That I just wanted to make sure that this is the story that's interesting and captivating enough for the readers to just...
Htjela sam da budem sigurna da je ovo priča koja će zainteresovati veći broj čitalaca.
to just make the second part.
Tako da bih ja napisala taj drugi deo.
So I put in the book, kind of postscriptum that if you like the book, just let me know via social media.
I na kraju knjige je Dominika napisala uputstvo ili obraćanje čitaocu ukoliko bi želeli nastavak ove knjige da reaguju.
Now I think it was a little bit of fishing for compliments.
Mislim da je to traženje komplimenta.
It wasn't intended.
Nije bilo namerno.
But I really got so many nice messages that people wanted to read more of this story.
Koliko divnih poruka da žele da čitaju nastavak ove priče.
But at the same time, I had a fallout with my publishing house.
Sam raskinula saradnju sa svojim izdavačem.
Because first, obviously, they were scared of me trying to publish a book that supposedly would have more than one part. It was okay.
I oni su naravno logično očekivali da izdaju više od samo jednog dela.
It wasn't an issue. I understand the market is difficult.
To naravno nije bio problem. Ja potpuno razumem principe marketinga.
But then working with them, I got really close with people who created this book with me, with my editor, wonderful girl.
I radeći sa njima, stupila sam u kontakt sa ljudima koji su puno doprineli ovoj knjizi sa kojima sam radila, kao što je to urednik, jedna sjajna žena.
And with PR girl, the marketing girl who was responsible for the promotion.
Devojka koja je bila zadužena za kompletnu promociju koje su divne.
And they were basically the co-creators of the title.
I one su praktično koautori ove knjige.
Because the book nowadays book is never just the creation of the author.
No, danas knjiga nijekom slučaju nije samo delo autora.
I write it, but then we put it together into this physical object.
Ja sam to napisala, ali smo je zajedno sklopili.
And send it together to public, so then the book becomes the book when we can talk about it.
Tako da mi možemo sad o tome razgovarati.
Without readers and without the communication, it's just an object, an item.
Bez toga, bez saradnje, bez komunikacije, to bi tek bio jedan predmet.
And me getting close with those people, I realized that we're fucking mobbed. The mobbing in the publishing house was horrible, very toxic environment.
I radeći s tim ljudima shvatila sam da sam bila izložena mobbingu, da je ta izdavačka kuća prosto...
And and I tried to talk with the publishing house. I contacted them. I sent emails. I had talk face to face. And they were all yes. We're gonna improve. We're gonna change. Oh, typical stuff. And it's really for a couple of months was okay. Until they decided we were like finished with the promotion period and we were like not in contact so much. And they just fired one of the girls. And I went like full on Facebook about the mobbing, etc. It was nasty moment. And journalists wanted to interview me. They wanted, the tabloid stuff. They wanted me to drag the publishing house. I really didn't want to do that because the publishing house. Yeah, exactly. I really didn't want to do that because, first of all, this publishing house, even though it's private now, it's the old important publishing house, one of the best in Poland and very important in Krakow. Just currently governed by very unfortunate people. So I think I cared more for their name than them. And also, you know, when you're the author and also the author with an important prize, they just tend to be nice to you in your face.
Kada ste autor sa vrlo značajnim nagradama, oni imaju naviku da budu u ličnom kontaktu ljubazni.
And if they pay you well, they expect you to just be quiet and go along.
Očekuju da budete, da ćutite i da.
So and also it's very difficult to deal with mobbing because we don't have really good procedures in Poland, probably nowhere in the world.
Vrlo je teško učiniti bilo šta po pitanju mobinga.
And if you didn't really experience it in this situation, because I was the author, so it wasn't my experience. I had different issues with them, but not this one. I couldn't share the stories of other people.
To je bilo moje iskustvo. Ja nisam imala to u odnosu sa njima, imala sam neka druga problematična pitanja, ali vi o tome ne možete sa ljudima da razgovarate.
Because if you say any detail, then they immediately connect it to a certain person.
Ukoliko bilo koji detalj iznesete, on je odmah povezan sa određenom osobom.
And unless this person is ready to speak for themselves, you cannot do that.
Osim ukoliko ta osoba nije spremna da javno istupi i govori za sebe.
And if you're working culture, if you're not a renowned author, you cannot that easily change the job because there are limited publishing houses, limited institutions.
Ukoliko vi ste autor, niste toliko poznati, onda vi nemate šanse ispred tako renomiranih izdavačkih kuća.
So, you know, it ended up with me not being with them anymore. So, like the, you know, first part went published there now. And also the girls I worked with, they are in different institutions now. The publishing house wrote a big statement where they called me a hater.
Izdavač je objavio podugačku izjavu u kojoj me nazivaju hejterom.
Which was, you know, like, guys, just like make an effort at least.
Do your best.
Potrudite da to bude nešto bolje.
But you know, that's why the second part stuff, it's also heavy on me emotionally.
To pitanje nastavka također mi emotivno teško pada.
Because we were really tired mentally after struggling with this issue, and it's all associates with the book for me.
Te teške borbe sa ovim stvarima postajete mentalno umorni.
So I'm really thinking about doing something that haven't been done by the published authors in Poland. So self-publishing.
Ja na mene je bilo rađeno, to je da budem svoj sopstveni izdavač.
Especially that being long on the market, I have access to the people that would do it professionally.
Tako da, obzirom da sam poprilično dugo na tržištu, imam dodira sa ljudima koji to rade profesionalno.
But first I need to earn money to do that.
Ali pre svega treba da zaradim novac.
So now I'm writing another book.
Thanks, Dominika, and I think this is a good time for Valjevo authors and poets and also the pupils from high school to jump into conversation.
Mislim da je sada pravi trenutak za valjevske pisce, autore, profesore i đake da se uključu u razgovor.
Da li imamo pitanja? Evo, izvolite, profesorka. I također književnica.
Vam se zahvalim na dolasku i tako reprezentativno panoramskim prikazom istorijske i socijalne vertikale.
To be read.
Thank you for the question. It's a really interesting one, and I think a lot about this.
To je jako zanimljivo pitanje i sama sam puno o tome razmišljala.
I would say this is such a complex topic that I could probably make another meeting just about it.
Smatram da je to jedan tako kompleksna tema da bismo mogli provesti cijel vikend razgovarajući o tome.
Maybe I should just present my background, so also the answer would have a proper context.
Možda ne bi bilo loše da odgovor položim sa svojim backgroundom, sa svojom istorijom.
So I consider myself to be left wing,
Ja sebe smatram levo orijentisanom,
but at the same time, I really do think that political correctness, wokeism, what we also say,
verujem da politička korektnost je ono što se danas zove wokeizmom,
is a very, very dangerous phenomenon,
vrlo opasan fenomen
and it's not really derived from the left.
i ne radi se praktično o nečemu što potiče od levice.
Even though the left thinks it is.
Jer je, mada levičari,
Because, globalization, also with the help of the internet,
globalizacija uz pomoć interneta
just goes for the story that's the best to monetize.
prosto prihvataju priče koje se najbolje prodaju,
So,
koje najviše novca donose.
so from the story of multiculturalism, richness of cultures,
Tako da su od priče o multikulturalizmu, bogatstvu kultura,
they just derive the marketing slogans,
samo su izvučeni marketinški slogani
and they make the empty pictures
i oni formiraju neke isprazne slike
that just go against the real values that we want to fight for.
u suprotnosti sa pravim vrednostima koje želite da naglasite.
And I think the example of Hollywood
Uzmimo primjer Hollywooda.
is a great example here because for a long time I had this internal struggle with, okay, that's great that we have so many female representation in the retelling the old stories,
Ok, imali smo toliko mnogo ženskih predstavnika u tim pričama,
but it just became more and more meaningless, not because it was too common,
ali to postaje sve manje i manje smisleno, ne zato što je postalo jako često,
but because it was made by people who didn't really believe in it. They just wanted to make money.
što su to načinili ljudi koji u suštini u to ne veruju, koji to rade samo zarad zarade.
And now we have the social media
I sada imamo te društvene mreže
and their algorithm
i algoritme
is very, very easy in the basic rules.
pritom je vrlo lako, imamo osnovne neka pravila.
They want us to engage, which means they want us to click, comment,
I oni žele da nas uključe u priču,
not,
kliknemo, da komentarišemo,
not just read or just watch.
ne samo da gledamo ili slušamo.
And we are more eager to comment if we don't agree.
I naravno, što manje da komentarišete ukoliko se ne slažete.
Or if we're really pissed. And for that, we need storytelling that doesn't have the shadows.
I zato nam je potrebno takvo pričanje priča koje je bez senki.
The details, okay, you're this, but you're also this. They want us to think that it's black and white,
Oni žele da mislimo da je reč o crno-belom,
that it's either politically correct or politically incorrect.
da je to politički korektno ili nekorektno.
There's lack of context, just emotions, and go for it, just fight.
To je nedostatak sadržaja. Reći samo o pokretu, o sljedećem koraku.
And if you decide to oppose to it, it's
Odlučite da se tome suprotstavite,
we just auto-censorship ourselves, because
prosto vi sami radite sopstvenu autocenzuru.
for those who manage these words, those are empty words.
Za one koji upravljaju tim ispraznim rečima,
If they write about gay marriage, for them it just
ukoliko, na primjer, oni pišu o gej brakovima, za njih je to naprosto
politically incorrect, and we can drag it till the absurd and just turn it into
korektno i koji se može razvlačiti do apsurda,
and just turn it into a conversation about the co-educational toilets,
da stignete do razgovora o kodifikaciji toaleta ili sličnih stvari.
and then if I want to say, okay, it's absurd how we talk about it, I have friends that are gay couple who cannot inherit from themselves.
Ukoliko ja prosto želim da kažem, apsurdno da uopšte o tome govorim. Imam za prijatelje gej par koji ne mogu da naslede jedno drugo.
And they are planning on how to provide for themselves within the law structure so they don't die off in solitude if another person just goes away faster because the family doesn't approve of it, right?
Žele da izgrade za sebe dom, tako da osoba koja preostane ne bi morala da ide u neko prihvatilište ili nešto slično.
And in Poland, it's a very big problem because
To je jako veliki problem.
it's the main tool of Russian disinformation.
Reč je o ruskoj dezinformaciji.
And it's not, I don't think it's political, it's ideologically grounded to say that. It's just facts.
Politički, ideološki zasnovano.
Because recently we had this on Twitter, X, they showed from where were located the certain owners of the accounts.
Jer oni prikazuju, odnosno pokazuju lokaciju određenih vlasnika računa.
And turned out that the vast majority of the accounts that are in Polish, right in Polish, are anti-European Union.
I najveći broj računa su na poljskom protiv Evropske unije,
Pro-Russian, pro-Trump,
pro-ruski, pro-trumpovski,
but also anti-woke, whatever. I don't like this word, but it's just for the sake of the argument. They are all post from the Netherlands
svi su posjeti, svi su iz Holandije.
because this is the most common VPN used in Russia.
It is the most common.
VPN, it's the tool, yeah.
Aha, because najveći broj Rusa koristi tu VPN adresu.
Yeah, VPN is when you use the special application to hide from where you're posting.
VPN.
Here don't hide.
Uz pomoć aplikacije skrivate odakle ste vi javljate smeštate se na drugu teritoriju.
So I think it's a great question because
Ozbiljno pitanje.
within my social bubble, we tend to be very like, okay, you don't think like we do, you're not a good human.
U toj vrsti nekog društvenog oblaka važi pravilo ukoliko ne mislite kao ja, vi niste ljudsko biće.
But at the same time, we lose the ability to see that the narrative that we are adapting to isn't really our narrative.
A pritom mi gubimo sposobnost da vidimo da narativ kom se mi adaptiramo, odnosno prilagođavamo, nije naš sopstveni narativ.
And it's not only Polish thing because at the same
Pitanje Poljske.
At the same moment, people checked also the pro-Brexit accounts.
A u isto vreme ljudi provjeravaju svoje pro-Brexit račune.
And there were from India, Middle East, like not British accounts, right?
I nije bila reč o, pričamo o Brexitu, pro-Brexit, oni koji još uvek zagovaraju opravdanost Brexita, uopšte nisu bili locirani u Britaniji, nego u Indiji
And Middle East
i
and
na Bliskom istoku.
Pakistan, and it doesn't mean that those were countries interested in Brexit.
To ne znači da su te države
Those
za to zainteresovane,
were the cheapest worker to be paid to post that.
najlošije, najslabije plaćeni radnici.
Those are the outsourcing countries, and I know that because Krakow is an outsourcing city, and I did work with Indian teams.
Ja to znam jer sam radila sa indijskim timovima.
So I think this is the thing that we need to deal with, especially looking from my side of political scene.
I smatram da ovim treba ozbiljno da se pozabavimo, posebno s moje političke tačke gledišta.
Hvala ne.
Thank you.
Od suza i pra iskona krdušti i rime. Prođe li te jeza, preno što te želja mine, dok čamaš sam duboko u noćne tmine. Jezdiš li zbog nje na talasima nag, zidaš li mostove od trulih starih ribljih kosti, ideš li na bal zabranjenih svirača, pevaš li u sebi pesmu jaču od najjačeg plača. Čuješ li krik morske sirene što te doziva, dok ćutiš na steni noći ove? Čuvaš li oči za suze u zoru i svitanje, dok more se teni? U daljini čuje se šapat iz usta ženi, pođi u trenu kroz otvoren prozor novi, gde se dodiruju povrh talasa sa nebom snovi, kupi joj šešir od slame i maramu za oko vrata, da sakrije svoju crnu kosu demonske snage i skine svoju krljušt od zlata i pođe ti u susret naga nevesta kroz rajska vrata. Zatrepeli li dah, uplašiš li se od sebe sama, uhvati li ti kukavičko srce strah od morskih dubina. To su bili moji stihovi za vas. I evo ovom prilikom želim da se još jednom zahvalim što ste mi pružili priliku da se večeras upoznamo i da, nadam se, nastavimo neku našu saradnju u budući.
Grateful for the opportunity to have the chance to meet you tonight and possibly to continue some cooperation in the future.
Thank you. It was really wonderful to listen to the poetry in Serbian, because I think poetry just makes the language sounds just how to say it, just shows the real soul of the language.
Hvala vam.
And today at the gallery, the guide said that the painter first wanted to the spectators to notice the colors and the shapes, and then the subject. And with reading aloud, I think we're very close to this feeling, especially if the languages are close to each other. I didn't get, unfortunately, the whole meaning, but it was really nice experience to listen to it, and I would love to look at it, but in Latin letters, because I don't read the alphabet. But if you would, awesome, that would be awesome.
Okay, hvala.
Thank you. I don't know if you'll be happy with my answer about Slavic languages. I'm a philologist by education, translator and interpreter by education, not by work. I studied Spanish, I speak Italian, I speak French, I speak English. I don't speak other Slavic languages. I studied Czech language for some time, and it turned out really hard for me because it was too close home. So my mind really didn't remember stuff, because it was like, oh yeah, it is, I remember it, it's the same, and it wasn't. And having said that, I think Polish language is a really good linguistic point to realize that those languages, even though they are from the same group, they are not equally similar to each other.
iako pripadaju istoj grupi, nemaju uvek mnogo toga zajedno.
And there are two points to make here. First is obviously Russian language. And with Russian, it's a very difficult history for Polish people. Because the Russification.
Vrlo mi je teško da komuniciram sa ljudima koji govore ruski.
Russian language in the 19th century was violence for us.
Russian language is?
In the 19th century was violence for us.
U 19. veku, I just want to check that.
Yeah.
U 19. veku ruski jezik je za nas bio nasilnik.
And I mean literally, not metaphorically. Because children were
Ja zaista to mislim doslovno, ne metaforički.
children were beaten into Russian to speak it.
Deca su s batine bila terana da uče ruski.
But in the 20th century, when
U 20. veku,
we had communism time,
u vreme komunizma,
it was just systematically introduced.
ruski je bio sistematski uvođen.
So you had to study it in schools.
I u školi ste morali da ga učite,
At the universities,
univerziteti.
so our parents and grandparents, they studied it. But the moment in the 89, the communism fell,
Naši, dakle, dede, bake i roditelji su ga učili, ali 1989. padom zida,
they collectively forgot it.
oni su ga svi kolektivno zaboravili
And we never learned it.
i nikada ga nismo učili.
I don't understand Russian. I really don't. I started understanding it more when the war broke out. And
Ja sam počela da za bilo šta razumem. Počela sam malo više da ga razumem kada je izbio rat.
And I watched a lot of Russian television to realize what propaganda was there.
Puno sam gledala rusku televiziju da bi shvatila propagandu koja je za toga.
And mind it, we don't have access to Russian TV. I watch it on YouTube with Polish subtitles.
Ja sam to gledala na YouTube-u sa prevodom na poljski.
And only after some time I started grabbing certain words. I didn't understand it.
Počela da neke reči razumem.
And then I know there is this notion of understanding Russian within the Slavic word.
Znam da je to razumevanje ruska u slovenskom svetu.
And Russian people, I watch YouTubers, for example, Russian YouTubers coming over to, maybe not now, but before, coming over to Poland.
Gledala sam ruske youtubere koji su dolazili ne sada, pre rata, u Poljsku.
And they were speaking Russian and people didn't understand them.
Oni su govorili ruski, ljudi ih nisu razumeli.
And they started answering in English and they were offended because they thought we were faking it.
I oni su time bili su uvređeni smatrajući da se mi pretvaramo.
And another example, which is more personal for me,
I još jedan primjer, za mene mnogo ličniji,
is Ukrainian and Belarusian.
je ukrajinski i beloruski.
When the war broke out, we had an Ukrainian flux of refugees coming over.
Bio rat, mi smo imali veliki broj ukrajinskih izbjeglica koji su prelazili u Poljsku
And we weren't able to communicate in Ukrainian with them.
i nismo bili u stanju da komuniciramo na njihovom jeziku.
I remember 2-3 days after the war broke out, a friends of friends came over to my home from Kiev.
Sjećam se nekoliko dana od izbijanja rata da je prijatelj prijatelja iz Kijeva došao kod mene kući.
We didn't know each other and
Nismo se poznavali
we needed to communicate about basic stuff.
i trebalo je da sporazumemo osnovno.
What do you want to eat? Do you need something to wear, to dress?
Pitanju šta ćemo jesti, nositi.
We weren't able to do that with Ukrainian and neither Polish. And
Na poljskom, naravno.
the son, one of their sons, he just took out Google Translator, and we did it through Google Translator. And then to Belarusian, which for me was like impossible to differentiate between them. Until today, people don't see the difference between Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian in Poland.
Što se tiče beloruskog, ljudi prosto ne vide nikakvu razliku između ukrajinskog, beloruskog i ruskog.
And I have translations into Belarusian, so I had a lot of contact.
Na beloruski,
A lot of contact with Belarusian language
imala sam puno kontakta sa jezikom.
because we have quite a big minority of Belarusian intellectuals in Poland.
Veliku belorusku manjinu u Poljskoj.
And I am lucky enough to participate very often in their cultural meetings. I had some author meetings there.
I imala sam sreće da vrlo često učestvujem u njihovim kulturnim sastancima, dešavanjima.
And this language is easier for me to understand. I don't know why.
Taj jezik je za mene lakši za razumijevanje. Ne znam zbog čega.
Maybe the words, the lexicology of the language is closer. I don't know.
Možda je reč o leksici jezika.
But after the first meeting I had with them, they had translator, interpreter. She was interpreting.
Susreta imala sam prevodioca.
But they don't have a lot of money financing. You know, the situation is obvious, right?
Situacija je takva da oni nemaju dovoljno financija, nemaju dovoljno.
So the second and third meeting, they realized I understand quite a lot, and we do it without interpreter.
Ja poprilično razumem.
It isn't perfect. I don't understand
To naravno nije savršeno.
it totally, and I need help from
Meni je, ipak ne razumem u potpunosti, potrebno mi je pomoć.
from the host, right? So the host needs to interpret a little bit, but it's different than with Ukrainian. And having said that, it's as if you wanted to say that French, Italian, Portuguese is the same situation. A little bit yes, a little bit no, but there is Esperanto. Yeah, sorry.
Kada govorimo o sličnosti, ukoliko želite da kažete da su italijanski, francuski, portugalski, rumunski slični,
But having said that, there is Esperanto. Maybe you've heard of it, and it was,
čuli za Esperanto.
I think, very similar. Yeah, exactly.
Da je ta ideja veoma slična.
And I love the idea of Esperanto because
Se dopada ideja Esperanta.
Ne Esperanto, pitala sam za Slovik, slovenski je.
yeah, but Esperanto was based very much on a certain.
Imate osjećaj kada ste među slovenskim narodom da ste bliži nego sa
You have the feeling
Italijanima?
that you are with Slavic people, that you feel closer.
No, because Slavic people are also Asian people
Ne, zato što su Sloveni takođe ljudi iz Azije, Azijati,
of different religious background.
u vrlo različitih religijskih opredeljenja.
Russians are Asians.
Poljaci?
We are not Asians. I mean, Russia is in Asia.
Rusi su i u Aziji.
A dobro, moje pitanje, evo ja ću na srpsko. Zašto španski?
Yeah,
Spanish.
Not common. Usually it's always English. Why Spanish?
no, Spanish is very fashionable in Poland. I don't know. It was when I was fashionable, modern.
Bio je u to vreme modern, španski u Poljskoj bio
Do you
modern.
have desire for more languages? Or just
Yeah, I love learning languages.
Još neke jezike.
I actually would like to learn Russian
Volela bih da naučim ruski,
because I think that we need communication between the societies
jer mislim da je potrebna komunikacija među društvima,
to understand that we have a lot of stereotypes about each other,
kako bismo shvatili da imamo mnogo toga da kažemo jedni drugima
and just we should try to explain it to each other, not via politicians.
i da mi treba da pokušamo jedni drugima da objasnimo stvari, ne političari.
And older generation,
Starije
they
generacije
they used to have a lot of connections with opposition from Russia.
su mnogo, bili su mnogo povezani, imali su mnogo kontakata sa opozicijom u Rusiji.
And, you know, I don't think it's Polish. It's Polish fault. It got destroyed. The opposition was destroyed. There's not many people to talk to.
Mislim da je to greška Poljske, nego da je problem bio u opoziciji.
but still there are young people growing up, and I would like just to talk to them. I know that there are people that think, yeah, and I don't believe in this Slavic union, because we Polish people were always suffering from this idea. For Russians, it was a pretext to come over to our country, to take the grounds, to kill people. And to try to destroy our culture. And it was all the opposite of the union. So it didn't work out, and we have a lot in common, but we are not the same. And I'm okay with that, not being the same. I think it's better not to be the same. I'm not sure if they think the same thing that I do, and that scares me.
Ja neću ništa pitati i neću tražiti odgovor. Želim da saopštim zadovoljstvo. Želim da saopštim zadovoljstvo Dominikinim dolaskom u Srbiju i pogotovo sada u Valjevo. To činim u ime uredništva časopisa Brankovina, koji je pokrenut 1998. u čast velikog imena Desanke Maksimović. Znamo da je Desanka Maksimović, između ostalih, unapredila i obeležila nacionalnu srpsku književnost, a pogotovo žensku književnost Srbije. U to ime želim da uručim preko Ivana jedan skroman poklon od nas. U tom poklonu se nalaze nekoliko brojeva časopisa Brankovina i jedna autorska knjiga. I svi su pisani i štampani na ćirilici. Zato što je naš stav da bar približno jednak broj ljudi poznaje ćirilicu kako poznaje latinicu, jer mi imamo sreće da imamo dva pisma, ali uvek prvo ćirilica. Ja 7 godina radim školu kreativnog pisanja na Kosovu i Metohiji. I ove godine naši domaćini su nas vozili u čuvenu veliku Hoču. Želim da naglasim da Petar Handke, kada je dobio Nobelovu nagradu, deo sredstava je poklonio srpskom narodu iz Velike Hoče. Istovremeno želim da naglasim da u Velikoj Hoči u centru tog mesta se nalazi veliki mural velikog pesnika Ezre Pounda, kao simbol nečasti i nepravdi koje se nalaze u čovečanstvu i među narodima. Također želim da kažem da je u blizini Velike Hoče, Brzoću, u blizini Velike Hoče rođen jedan najboljih dečjih pisaca živih, Mošo Odalović. Istovremeno, zašto govorim ovo? Zato što se u poklonu nalazi i vino iz Velike Hoče, jer Velika Hoča poznata po najboljim vinima. A vino je nektar za pisce i pesnike. Još jednom hvala. Ovaj susret je baš prava radost i nadam se da se kao kolege sretnemo na nekom mjestu.
We have also Dominika 3 authors here, Marija Škornički, Milica Elić-Vijačić and Jovanka Božić, and they will also give you a book. Books as a present. Voli tvoju boju kosu.
Ja sam sva u boja.
She is all in colors.
Hvala vam na ovoj književnoj predstavi. Ne bih sad nešto posebno da dužim. Poklonit ću vam samo 2 moje knjige koje su pisane na latinici. Ova je posvećena impresijama slika iz moderne galerije, gde ste bili Ljuba Popović, Dado Đurić, Miloš Obajić, Anita Maurović. I ovo je u kući bluza, tako da ove dve knjige moći ćete.
Hvala vam.
Your friend can translate. Thank you.
And also I forget to tell, there is a Željko Obrenović was here, but he needed to go because he has some family issues and he gave you a book as a present and also one book in English that is still in handwriting. You know, it's still not published yet.
He's brave.
No, he's really good writer of thrillers.
He's also
And Milica.
It's thriller.
A trebalo bi da je. Vidim da je Izvolite.
I speak English, but not too well. I am Milica Ilić-Gačić. I think I write poetry, painting, and play accordion, and work sewing, and work in the village, Paune. I thank you, dear Dominika. Thank you for you came to Serbia and Valjevo. I will present something on my poetry and haiku poetry, između ostalog. I write haiku in Serbian, in English and Russian, and illustration. I read some of haiku on 3 languages. Niz reku plovi sveo list stare bukve, zbogom mladosti. Wilted leaf on old beaches is floating down the river. Goodbye, youth. And Russian. Vniz pa reke plavet uvjadši list starava buka. Prašćaj, junost. Nema starice, u ovom domu sada stanuju ptice. The old woman has gone. This home is dwelt by some birds now. Njet staruhi, v etam dome сейчас живут птицы. Zvuk harmonike iz dvorišta, u kolu plotovi stari. The sound of the accordion from the yards. Old fences are in the dancing circle. Zvuk garmoški iz dvara, v horovode starije zabori. Here is my book. Sorry, vi ste Zorica Matić, jel tako? A jeste bili Zorica Matić? Meni je Zorica Matić držala kurs engleskog, ali vrlo kratko sam bila na tome, pa...
Those are really nice drawings.
Kaže da su jako lepi crteži.
Na poljskom Trace of Cooperation.
Hvala svima na divnoj večeri.
Volim na 5 jezika.
Minimum na 5. Hvala vam svima, još jednom, mislim, divno je bilo stvarno. Hvala vam.
I think it's the best tool invented, but I don't know how to use it yet. It's just yeah, there's some rules. Yeah, exactly. Because it's